is we have a prediction, and the prediction is that the ANC might very well lose the next election in 2024, and a lot of people. Well, I don't know what a lot of people said, but a lot of people on my stream said, maybe not. Maybe the institute's a little bit naive, a little bit romantic, assuming there is an election in the first place, which we'll get to. But what are the fundamental underlying conditions that you took into effect or factors to make a call such as that?
Yeah, so the first thing we should realize is that we are very, very skeptical of predictions or forecasts. We usually do scenario planning. And that's where you don't make a prediction, you don't make a forecast. You essentially identify what will influence the future, and you try to identify the four possibilities along two axes as to what the future might possibly be, so that you can prepare yourself for all four of those. But this on the ANC support is not scenario planning. The thing is, this claim isn't a new one. It's one we first made publicly in 2012. And at that time, it was quite, it's now perhaps strange to make that call that the ANC will lose the 2024 election, rightly, as you say, if there is one. But in 2012, we must remember that the ANC was very much close to the height of what it could politically have reached. It was 100 years old. Mr. Zuma was president. He was a popular president. We were rebounding from the 2008-9 crash. There was a lot of goodwill still over from the 2010 World Cup. I mean, it was a good place to be, and everyone was quite surprised by our claim that the ANC will lose in 2024, and we stick to that claim. I've been listening to a lot of people and watching your show and reading the comments on your show, and also the comments on what the IR and what we've been putting out there on this. And the central problem with our claim is I think you can divide it into two parts. Firstly, South Africans vote according to race. And because the ANC is a black party, and because the majority of South Africans are black people, then the black people will vote for a black party. Therefore, this black party will always rule as long as there are black people and a black party. That's the first point of criticism, is that South Africans are race-based. The other one is that South African voters are tribal. So it's race-based policies, and race-based voting is either race-based voting saying, the ANC won't lose because of race, or other people saying the ANC won't lose because of tribal loyalty. And we believe both of those are wrong, because if you look at the data, and perhaps we should get to that during the discussion, but if you look at the data, there really is very little to back up those claims, despite 20 years of analysts and commentators and journalists really devoting tons and tons of airtime to making this point that ANC voters are either racists or race-based voters or tribal voters.